Welcome back. And we have a big event coming up, and it is amazing how the creativity of people. And we have some beautiful crafts to share with you today. And Wanda Garcia is here with me.
Yes,
on behalf, she is the director of Market at the Park. And this is in Greer on Poinsett Street, right in the heart of Greer in the park.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is on the 10th
Of May,
Saturday, which is coming up Saturday. And what time?
It's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. that day.
And you can absolutely, it's free, just walk through the park, and there are 36 vendors.
We're very excited.
This is something it just gets better and better.
It does. As we're talking, we started out talking with you around 3 years ago.
I can't believe
we've gone from 14 vendors initially 3 years ago to 36. So we're very excited.
And these things are all created.
Yes. We've got
this is adorable.
a lot of beautiful pieces that are all mixed media pieces there. That's vintage.
Here. This is an old picture of an old-fashioned bride and groom, and then they've decorated it all, and it's just a deer, and that's part of an old
bark cloth dish towel, and she's used a lot of vintage music sheets and various things, and she's going to be there. That's Studio B Creation. She does beautiful mixed media.
You have, I don't even know where to begin. Look at this.
These are the jewelry hangers, and they're made from old spindles, chair spindles, leg spindles,
If you're always looking in the drawer because you can't find a certain pair of earrings or a necklace, here's the answer.
Yep, and they come in all kinds of colors and shapes because the spindles do too.
Oh, that's fun. And what else?
Well,
show me the ship over there.
Oh yeah, this is another mixed media piece.
What is that?
This is a saying from Dr. Seuss, "Oh, the places you'll go," and she's used some vintage fabric to make a boat.
That would be adorable in a child's room.
Very much so, yes. That's what she had in mind.
Yeah. Okay, so this is part of the, what do you have, a magazine? What is
Yes, we were so excited to be invited to be in Romantic Country this year.
Oh.
We were in their article for their favorite spring markets. It came out in January, and we actually have gotten quite a bit of phone calls and emails from folks that saw that article. And a couple of vendors even came from it. After seeing the magazine, they contacted me. So that's been a really great thing for us too.
Now this is an idea that, you could recreate. You don't just toss something, you make something out of it.
Yes. We have 3 categories. It is a jewelry show, and your items have to be either of handmade, vintage, or repurposed quality. So there are some guidelines there, and I've just been really amazed at the people that have just come from all over. We even have 5 vendors from North Carolina this year.
Okay, now you want to show us some of
we've
these
got
things?
some other things here.
You're sort of hooked up here with the mic, but that's all right.
We have a great little birdhouse here. This birdhouse is totally salvage materials. This is probably window moldings. We have an old beadboard that was probably on the wall of a house at one time, and we have the little ceiling tins. These were probably decorative tins inside of a house for the ceiling at one time.
Oh.
And it's a working house. Little birds can get in it. Plus, you're not throwing away all that in the landfill. And then we also have the great little sewing machine drawers. These used to come from the old treadle sewing machines. Yes.
Oh.
And we just painted those, and you can use them to collect things in. We have old mason jars that have been painted and decorated to hold your flowers. You can put candles in them. We're taking old soda pop bottles and making flower holders out of those with the wire hangers. And we also have a great way to display your pictures, your cards, important notes, what have you. This is just a piece of the metal picket fence and garden fence, and at one time. And we just cut it off in sections, and it'll hang right up.
So that would end up on a junk pile someplace.
Or going to the metal salvage these days.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
hopefully.
yes, it's a great way to show your important dates and cards and such, and let people. Another way that you can do that too is with old lampshades. We take off the fabric off of them and then just turn them into. You can pin up your cards and your letters and your little note cards, things that you might need, and this can be hung from any point, maybe if you have a place for hanging. So that's another good idea.
What is the scale?
Well, we're also going to have lots of vintage, so if folks just love to rummage through vintage, we'll have a lot of vintage antiques and such. We have beautiful furniture. We have several people that are painting furniture.
That bench obviously is
Yes.
an old one that somebody has done over.
Yes, we just actually, it was at one time, it had some kind of naugahyde on it, and it was kind of an ugly color. So we repainted it and reupholstered it, and now it's just a really pretty sort of a shabby French looking.
Like a decorative.
Yes, it could be a vanity bench or just a little, sit in the corner occasional bench. And then for the jewelry lovers, Peggy, we have amazing amounts of jewelry. We have a bracelet that's made from typewriter keys. This is a person, the vendor.
Still, so we can get
sorry.
That's okay.
Jeanette Jansen is actually the artist, and she makes beautiful pieces. She has an Etsy shop. And her pieces are all from parts and pieces of typewriters, everything, clocks. Oh my goodness, you name it, she has it.
And she makes jewelry out of these.
Yes. And then another vendor does the beautiful things that are the flattened spoons.
Listen to the whispers of your heart.
Yes. And so this is a vintage spoon that didn't end up in the scrap pile somewhere. It ended up on a necklace, so.
I think that's marvelous.
Yes.
And
So
what do you have here?
Yeah,
What is
this
that?
is a handbag. We have another vendor that is doing
Look at that.
salvage clothing. Yep. And it's been decorated and embellished with all sorts of the yo-yos that people we used to make blankets and things out of these at one time. I did, but I had friends that did. Mm-hmm. But here she's made it like a little belt, and then she's got a strap off of her. Actually, the strap is a belt. So
turn it around.
So it's just all decorated up and made cute.
And it says, puts the name on the back.
Studio B Creations. That's the same lady that did the mixed media. She's extremely talented.
I should say so.
Well, all of our vendors are really, but I have some favorites, of course. So.
Oh.
But we're real excited about everyone that's coming.
So you have, what is this thing down here with a star on it?
I'm sorry.
On
Yes.
the floor. What is that?
This was one of our Christmas things that we did, but this was actually your yardsticks.
Aren't those rulers?
Yes, yardsticks, and they were just from all over. Several of them are from the middle West.
So this would be like this looks like a ruler you would have had in school.
They were yardsticks, and we just collected them, from all over. Some of them are much older than others. And then I cut them into descending pieces, and we put them on the stick there and made them into little Christmas trees.
Isn't that cute? Now, and it's just as cute on the back. Do you get
I make some of them myself.
I wondered about that.
Yes. I think you and I talked about this a while back, too, that I was always into repurposing myself. But 3 years ago, people really didn't completely understand the idea of upcycling. And just in 3 years' time, it's been amazing how people have starting to get a hold of that. And of course, websites like Pinterest and Etsy, those kinds of things are really growing all of this into a huge trend. And slowly but surely, the Southeast, or at least this part of the Southeast, is catching on too. So.
Well, and really, they're sort of works of art that you.
They are in
hold on
themselves.
to.
They are. And the thing about it is, there's always been kind of a debate about this: is it art or not? And the people that make these things, they look at it as art, because otherwise it would have been thrown away.
It's in the eye of the beholder.
Exactly. So we like to think of it too.
I love the little birdhouse. I mean,
yes,
it's precious.
Yes. Those actually, that's something that my husband and I've done also, and those usually sell pretty good because they're real birdhouses. They usually fit the little wrens and chickadees well. But we just have a lot of people that are involved, and you'll also be able to find vintage clothing there. We have Vintage Style is the name of that vendor's business, and
Now that's a big thing today, isn't it?
Yes, and she has top-notch, beautiful clothing. She has 40s, 50s, 60s, and just 70s, really neat stuff. And she'll be there with hers. We have soap makers, we have candle makers. It's just about everything you can imagine that you like to go and see in a crafter's market, you'll find there. And plus, of course, the vintage dealers will also be there too.
Now you started this.
Yeah, we did. Actually, we started at another location in 2011. We were a little bit further up Poinsett Street, still in Greer, at a garden place that belonged to some friends of mine, and we did it there in 2011 and again in 2012, and it was quite obvious in 2012 we were outgrowing it very quickly, so we had to go somewhere else. So in 2013, we said, you know, okay, what can we do? And we decided to go to the city park. And when we talked with them, they were all for it. They were excited. It was an event to showcase the park, which is lovely. So we set the one up for 2013. It was last October, and it was phenomenal. We just about tripled the 14 we started out with, and the park was beautiful. The weather was awesome. We had food trucks that day, which we will have again.
You will have?
Yes, we'll have food trucks. We'll have barbecue. We'll have southern cuisine. We'll also have sweets. We'll have a froyo truck, sweetly twisted froyo truck will be there. Musicians, we have 4 different young acoustic artists coming. We also have a special speaker who has a blog, Jo Ray Jaton, who lives over in Simpsonville. She has a blog called All About Home, and she's a little bit of a repurposer herself, so she's going to come and do a demonstration of an item that she's working on, plus do a little bit of speaking also off of her blog subjects that she talks about. So that's going to be really fun too. So.
Now everything there will be for sale.
It will, yes. Everything is for sale. All of the vendors would love to have folks come in and buy things. Last year, everyone that I spoke to said that they did really well, that they were very just impressed with the people that came out and people's interest in what they do, and they felt like it was a very good sales day too.
Well, this is just a little tiny portion.
It is, yes.
But Wanda was kind enough to bring these things to give us an idea, you know, of what is available.
Yes.
And there will be something for everybody.
There really will. They're just, we have one vendor who specifically makes little girls' purses, and she makes them from recycled things. And then another vendor makes ladies' purses from recycled things.
See, we have been a throwaway society.
Yes, we have.
And I think people are beginning to rethink.
Yes.
I mean, more and more people are growing their own gardens with their vegetables.
Yes.
We're sort of turning the clock back, and in a way, I think it's encouraging.
It is. It very much is in a lot of ways, and I think that people are beginning to realize that you don't have to run out and buy that new thing. Why don't you take this and refurbish it or paint it or something, you know, and use it anyway. And I think that it's really great because it's the younger generation that's really grabbed hold of it. So it is encouraging.
It's a big thing here in the southern part of the United States, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely growing. I mean, in fact, several, I think I mentioned before, several of the vendors that we are having in the park have Etsy shops, which is a huge online crafters market. And we're real excited about the fact that so many of them are bringing the works that they sell, you know, all across the U.S. and further, right to the park in Greer. So we're real excited about that. My daughter made a really fun comment. She said that this market is kind of like if Etsy and Pinterest got married and had a baby. It'd be kind of like this market.
So you're going to find everything there in all price ranges.
Yes.
36 different people displaying their works that they have created, and it'll be a fun day. It is free. Of course, we're all praying for good weather.
Yes.
And it'll be, this is the beginning, I think. You're going to try to do this perhaps twice a year now.
Yes, the City of Greer would really like to see us do it twice a year, so we're entertaining being able to do it again. So right now we did do a fall show last year, and this year we did move it to spring in hopes that we might catch into that cycle of the spring and the fall. So we'll get through this one and we'll think about it.
And down and Greer has grown so, and there are
yes.
shops and new restaurants and things springing up there all the time.
There are, yes.
And it's a very nice area.
It is, and the park is beautiful.
They're coming into their own.
Yes, they very much are. The promenade where we'll be located is right off of Poinsett Street. You can't miss it.
So it's easy for people to find.
Yes.
And is there parking fairly?
Yes, there's parking all around the park in different areas, and right across the street from us is the Greer Relief and Resources Agency, which is also involved in this with us as a fundraiser for them.
So this has been a community effort,
it has
really.
Been. Greer Relief will be there, and we will have vendors that will be donating something, an item that day, and they will be doing a drawing throughout the day, several times probably,
All right.
for people to get. There'll be 36 items, so they'll be giving away
fun
these
day
items.
for everybody.
And they'll be raising money for Greer Relief, and
Okay,
so it's
that's
easy to get
wonderful.
to. Fun.
But the entrance is free, and you can just go and browse and have food and have a good time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Wanda Garcia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And wherever you are, don't just throw something away. Think about how we can reuse it. Stay happy. We'll see you next time.